Yep, that's right. We're here to talk about they once again made a Toy Story movie. Yeah, but don't worry, at least it was good. We'll talk about it.
It's good to see them fighting again.
It sure is.
So first, I feel like I should start just by telling you like my personal perspective with the Toy Story franchise. Because in case you don't know, I love Toy Story. I love Toy Story. I love Toy Story 2. I love Toy Story 3. To me, it's one of the best trilogies ever made. Toy Story 3 is my favorite Pixar movie. Toy Story 3 is my favorite of the Toy Story movies. And it is one of my favorite movies of all time. And then Toy Stories 1 and 2, I absolutely love those as well. Toy Story 4. Background. Well, I mean, technically it is a good movie, but I have a lot of issues with it. It's all right. You know, I rewatched off the 4 leading into 5, and I like 4 more now than I used to, but I still have a lot of problems with it, so I don't love it, but it's a good movie, if that makes any sense. I don't want to go too much into that because we're talking about Toy Story 5, but just so you know some background, because I feel like different people are going to have different things, because I grew up with Toy Story. I wasn't actually alive when 1 and 2 came out, but it was with things worked out, so I did grow up with Toy Story. So I do have a lot of nostalgia for the Toy Story franchise. And that now we're on 5, which going into 5, I was very like, we really probably should have stopped at 3. 3 was the perfect ending. 4 was kind of like, why does this exist? 5 at least has a very interesting idea though, so I'll see and I'll hope. And I watched it. It's good. It's really good. It's not, as good as 1, 2, 3. Probably better than 4. I shouldn't talk too much because I do want to do a ranking. We'll see if that happens. But then I could dive more into my thoughts if I do that. So we shall see. But yeah, I like Toy Story 5 a lot. I think it was really good. Let's dive more into it though. Well, first thing, I have to say the animation is gorgeous in this movie. This movie just looks incredible. I mean, I feel like we probably shouldn't be surprised. Every Toy Story movie looks better than the last one, and this one looks even better than 4, and 4 looked amazing. So that's one thing. If we dive into the story specifically, they do make Jessie our main character. Woody and Buzz kind of take a backseat to Jessie. And while I do think there's going to be a lot of people who are like, this is stupid, I actually, as someone who loves the franchise and grew up with it, I'm okay with it. I liked it. I actually think it works because I see 3 still as an ending. 3 was the end of that era, of that chapter, of the Andy trilogy. So to me, it almost makes sense to have a shift with the movies, to change the main character, to change something, because we're now in a new era. And so having it be now Jessie is now our main character, and she also takes a leadership role with the toys. To me, it makes sense to have, like I said, to have this shift. Jessie is the sheriff now. So, and I think it works, and it also does tell us a really good story. And it's cool to have someone else take the lead, because we did get 3 movies about Woody and Buzz, and then let's be honest, 4 with all about Woody. So does that mean we're gonna get one all about Buzz? We'll see. Probably not, but we'll see. I mean, I guess you can argue Lightyear, but we don't talk about Lightyear. I'm just kidding. I don't hate Lightyear, but you know what I mean. I'm making a joke because no one seems to like Lightyear. But yeah, maybe I'll include that in the ranking. Anyway, moving on. Like I said, I do think it works. I do like how they treated Woody and Buzz in this movie, though. Woody, I kind of like how they treat him as like this older veteran, because really he has been around a while. We went through the 4 movies with him. We saw him with Andy, and technically, if you go based off of the lore we've gotten, he is even older than that. Made back in like the 50s or whatever with the Woody's Roundup stuff. And we have no idea. We don't know for sure. I don't think they ever confirmed, but I feel like we can kind of assume that he's had owners before Andy. There is a line in Toy Story 2 where she mentions about him being a family heirloom, so maybe. I don't know, but he's been around. I feel like they do a great job at treating him like he for the most part knows what he's doing because he's been around. And they're also able to have some funny moments with that as well. Speaking of the comedy, I don't think this movie is as funny as like the previous four, because 1, 2, 3, and even 4, I had multiple times where I laughed. This one, I had chuckles here and there, and I did the humor did work, but there also wasn't a lot of it, which again could be good or bad. But we're talking about Toy Story. How does the emotion hit? Because Toy Story 3, the emotion hits very, very hard. Toy Story 4, to me, not as hard as 3, but still hits hard. And this one, well, I don't think it quite reaches the emotion of Toy Story 3, or even maybe 4. Definitely not 3, but maybe 4. It does still have its moments that make you feel the feels and maybe make you have some tears. Me personally, I didn't have any tears while watching this one, but I definitely felt the feels. And I think that'll depend on the person, because I've heard different people said they actually were crying throughout this one. Again, for me, there are 2 moments specifically. I'm not going to tell you what they were because it's no spoilers. But a moment with Jessie, and I'll just say at the tree. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. That hit pretty hard as well. Well, both times, because I guess... But you know what I mean, though, if you've seen it. If you haven't, watch the movie and you'll see. And for me personally, one that I don't think gets mentioned as much is the scene with Bonnie and her mom in the car. Again, I feel like if you've seen the movie, you'll know it when you see it. But that one also kind of hit me in the feels. Again, not enough to make tears come, but enough for me to be like, oof, I felt that. And that's always awesome. And kind of expected when it comes to Pixar in general, really, if we're being honest. And then the actual story and theme that we have with toys versus tech is handled perfectly, I think. They nailed it with because they could have went in, this could have been a very generic, yeah, you shouldn't play with tech. Tech sucks. Tech is the worst. Start playing with toys more, kids. And it doesn't do that. It shows the ups and the downs of tech. It also shows, I feel like, kind of the ups and downs of toys as well, and how you kind of need both. It just does such a fantastic job at balancing that and have it be not just this one-sided thing, showing you the pluses and the negatives, and it does such a great job, and it doesn't feel like it's yelling at you. Like, I feel like you could have had the problem where it just feels like, oh, the movie's yelling at me for being on my phone. No, it doesn't. And I think that is awesome. And I even think they found a great way to conclude this story specifically. Because, again, how are they going to end it? They could end it multiple different ways. And the way that they conclude it, again, without going into it, spoilers, I think was such a great way to conclude this story with tech versus toys. Now, I don't think the movie is perfect. It isn't the best. It's not Toy Story 1, 2, or 3. And there's a couple different things that I feel like, and one being, for me personally, is that this isn't a spoiler because you see it in the trailers. There's a side story within like this army of buzzes, and to me, really, every single time we cut to them, I can't help but question why. Why does this matter? Why are we cutting to them? Why do I care? Yes, there are some good moments, there's some funny moments, but when they cut to them, I just can't but wonder, well, why? Do we really need this side story? I'm much more invested when we're with Jessie in the Toys versus Tech story, and every time we cut to the army of buzzes running around, I'm just like, I kind of just want to get back to Jessie and the toys. But now, when you get to the end of the story, there is a bit of a payoff there, so at least it isn't like pointless. It does combine, and we get a payoff to the story. And I guess the payoff is good enough for me to be like, okay, I enjoyed that, but I still can't but question, did we really need it? It almost felt like it could have been another one of the shorts that they've done. Like they did Toy Story of Terror, they did Toy Story That Time Forgot, they did a couple other shorts as well. Couldn't help but wonder, could that have been, one of those instead? But like I said, it had an enjoyable payoff, but I don't know how engaging it was until then. I think that was my main issue, because just looking at it by itself, ignoring the first 4, I think it is a really well-made movie. Obviously, the score and voice cast is great. I feel like that's, goes without saying. Now, I do want to say one thing that I personally had an issue with. This is just a me thing. It's not really spoilers, but it doesn't have anything to do with the story. It's just a me thing, because it kind of goes back to my problem with Toy Story 4. is that I kind of wish that Bonnie acknowledged the fact that Woody is gone, even if it was just like a quick line from Bonnie or one of her parents being like, "Oh man, I wonder whatever happened to that cowboy doll that you had. I feel like you had him at that when we went on that RV trip, and then we lost him or something." Because without any reference to that, it almost feels like Bonnie never noticed that Woody disappeared, which, you know, that's just a me thing. I guess that's also still more of a problem with Toy Story 4 than Toy Story 5, I guess. But to me, it's just like, well, why was this not acknowledged at all? I mean, obviously, because takes place a couple years after 4, at least I'm assuming, she probably got over it, and we missed all that. But still, I would have liked a line. That way it doesn't feel like she never noticed Woody's disappearance. But, I mean, maybe she would. Maybe I'm just thinking of me. I feel like I would eventually notice that one of my toys was missing, especially if it was given to me as a collection of toys by this guy. But, I mean, I guess maybe she didn't know any that well. I don't know. But, yeah, those are my main things to talk about. Toy Story 5 is a good movie, but I do have some issues with it. And not just the should we really be making more Toy Stories? Yeah, because I've accepted they're never going to stop making Toy Stories, guys. I'm part of the problem, okay? I wanted them to stop at 3, and I went to see both Toy Stories 4 and 5 opening night. So, I'm part of the problem. I acknowledge that. But I've accepted it. Toy Story is never going to end. And now, I kind of want them to make a 6th one, if that makes sense. Not necessarily because, I want them to continue the franchise. But more so, now I feel like we don't have a proper, like, ending. Like, to me, the ending of Toy Story 5, I said it was a great ending to this individual story, not so much to the greater franchise. And I know, again, I said that I feel like Chapter 3 is the end of this trilogy. 5 doesn't feel like an end to this 2-part story of 4 and 5. There's a part of me that would like, kind of like a 6 to 1 feel like this new Bonnie trilogy, and then also to maybe conclude that story, or to feel like a conclusion to the Bonnie trilogy, if that makes any sense. But I'm also like not gonna complain if they stop making Toy Stories. I don't think they will, because let's be honest, the movie's probably gonna make $1 billion, and they're probably gonna have another story idea. It might take another like 10 years, but I would not be surprised if we got Toy Story 6. Anyway, I feel like I've been talking for like a long time and not even diving into spoilers, but yeah, so should you see Toy Story 5 in theaters? To me, if you are a Toy Story fan or a Pixar fan, this is a yes. You should be seeing this in theaters because you're going to enjoy it. I think you're going to like it, even if you're someone who hates Toy Story 4, because I know Toy Story 4 is very divided. If you're someone who hates Toy Story 4, or if you're someone who loves Toy Story 4, either way, I would say check this one out because I think you're going to enjoy it. I could be wrong, I guess, but I would still say check it out. Unless you're someone who's like totally boycotting because you want Toy Story to end, but it's not gonna work. Sorry. But if you're also someone who was never into Toy Story or not even like fan of Pixar, then you could probably wait for streaming. But I mean, come on. Why would you wait for streaming when you can see this in theaters? So, yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for taking time to watch this video. If you like this video, please hit like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. I've done a bunch of other reviews. We reviewed He-Man. I reviewed Power Ballad. And I'm hoping to review some more this summer, including next movie I'm seeing. At least the plan right now. I might go see a couple others because like Death of Robin Hood is out now. And some others. But Supergirl. Can't wait. But yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.